Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me. This is GGF, bringing you episode 1 of a new Let's Play. Now, this is a game that came out recently. Actually, came out at the end of 2022, it looks like, by the very vaunted and interesting publisher of Slitherine. I think I'm pronouncing that right. This is a remake of a classic game that I really loved. I never did play the original when it released, but years later I would play the DOS version and really fall in love with it at how cool and fantasy oriented it was. You know, it's a very cool strategy game, and this is a very competent remake, apparently. I have not played it much, as you can see, an hour 46 minutes, but even that was just kind of putzing around, going through the tutorials and stuff. I haven't really played a proper game of it yet. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to create a wizard, probably, and start a game of it and see where it goes from there. We'll go through the tutorial, and it's going to be pretty new to me as well. So I hope you guys enjoy and are ready for that, and let's get into it. This is Ep 1 of Let's Play Master of Magic. The remake, I guess you could say, or the remaster. This is with all the DLC that's currently available as of February 10th or so. All the DLC, including the one that just came out, the water-based DLC. We'll see it in a second here. Ship-based, you know, that sort of thing. Piracy has been added. Okay. So we have the free add-ons. We have Through the Mirror, Rise of the Soul Trap, Scourge of the Sea. Very cool. So we're going to be looking at this in episode 1 here. Sort of just going over some things. We'll start with the video settings. I have it on high. You can see my resolution, my frame rate limit. The highest it goes is 160. This display full screen mode. I've been messing with the gamma a little bit. I guess that's good. And this has gamma up here for default. Yeah, that's fine. We'll leave it like that. Check out the audio settings. Not much there. Hotkeys. We'll get into this as the game occurs. You know, there's 4 pages of hotkeys. Pretty cool. And then other, autosave every turn, animation speed for AI and players, both at 1. Follow enemy movement, focus camera on units in battle. Don't want to auto end the turn in battle. I don't like map edge scrolling. Faster loading. It takes a lot of hard drive space, but that's okay. We have that turned on. Town map always on. I'm not sure what that. Not sure what the town map always on means. We'll leave it off though. We'll reset the tutorials. Excuse me. And so that's about it for the settings. There's also an editor. You guys can play around with that if you want. Let's go ahead and hit new game. And this is where we start customizing our game a bit. So we'll probably do normal 150% score multiplier. I have a few things changed over here by default. So our wizard picks, how many points you can spend on spellbooks and wizard traits. We have it at 11 rather than 10 or 12. Starting gold. AI skill, 4 different versions. We'll make it advanced. Number of AI wizards, we can have max 4. Neutral armies are advanced. Layer defense is advanced. Magic intensity is powerful, which seems pretty good. Special events, you can have the old original unmodified, the original updated or updated and new events. We'll do that one. Battle movement cost, maximum cost is 2, all tiles cost 1, full cost. I'm going to go with full cost, which means, yeah, it makes it a little harder, so the percentage goes up. That means we get the full cost. If it takes 3 to move to a certain, like, very mountainous tile or something, then we're going to pay the full cost. World size, I like to play with large worlds. That makes it a little easier. Back down to 158. Initial economy, normal. We have more options. We can add a starting hero. Not going to do that. Number of neutral towns, average. Mid-game soul-trapped threat. Allow additional tech dungeons to appear during mid-game. These dungeons will produce roaming soul-trapped armies that will pose additional danger. They are more aggressive than typical roaming units and will seek out the strongest wizards. Wow. So we have that on normal. That's fine. Minimum distance between towns. 4 tiles. Population growth. Own towns. 1.0. Oh, it has a set for 1.25. Huh. I wonder if that's just a general balance thing. If we were to turn this to 1.0, it's going to make it harder. Well, we'll leave it on 1.25. We'll get a little bit of an advantage there. You know what? Let's play the same as the AI. 1.0. Layer density. Set the number of layers and dungeons that appear on the world map at the start of the game. So you can explore dungeons and stuff. We'll go with the default halved. I'm not sure why it has halved. If we were to say normal, it makes it easier. Reduced. Halved makes it harder. No dungeon layers make it very hard. We'll go reduced, 70%. Water layer density. Set the number of water layers that appear on the world map. We'll go reduced. Makes it a little easier. Maybe we should go halved there. Casting skill cost. This option reduces the required casting skill points for increasing the casting skill. So a 10% reduction will reduce the cost from 100 to 90 and so on. We'll have no cost reduction. So we have 164. That's going to be our final difficulty level. Not quite hard. A little bit more than normal, but not much. Pretty cool. And then, of course, when the game ends, your score will be multiplied by this value. Very cool. So let's hit continue. And now we can choose our wizards. I'm not going to go through every one because this is not really a preview video. This is more of a let's play where we're actually playing the game, but I do suggest you guys check them all out. Some really cool lore here, some really cool builds for these different wizards and stuff. You know, very cool indeed. But I think we're going to make our own character. Or should we maybe play as one of these wizards? Here's Korak's White Feather. He's got 8 life spell books. That's all he's got, though. We can get into the mechanics later. He's a Mirren. So the wizard hails or has been accepted as a dweller of Mirror. And so they begin the game there instead of Arcanus or Arcanus. The wizard may also rule over a Mirren race, beastmen, dark elves, draconian, dwarves, or trolls. The wizard's fortress also generates 5 additional power. And out of your 11 picks that we set earlier, this costs 2. So if we make our own character, we can go through the picks and make our own picks that cost different amounts. And he has Mastery of Life, which allows the wizard to begin the game with the powerful Resurrect and Heal spells and more. So let's go ahead, instead of going through every one, there's Merlin. We'll go ahead and do a custom wizard. Now we do have to use the portraits because I don't have any custom portraits for this. So we will go ahead and choose someone like, looks good, and we'll name them Elzarian. And now here are the picks, the traits and magic spellbook. So this is very cool. There's our 11 picks. There's 3 pages of traits. We can have up to a maximum of 6. But we also have to balance that with our actual spell books, how many levels of spells we'll be able to cast, ultimately. So right away, Artificer is pretty cool. Master of the Magical Forge. An Artificer reduces the cost of making magical items by 50%. Artificers also begin the game with the Enchant item and create artifact spells, and it costs 1 pick. Conjurer, Master of Summoning. The Conjurer reduces the spell research time and casting cost of all summoning spells by 25%. And also reduces the upkeep cost of fantastic creatures by 25%. The total cost of current summons is rounded up, then 25% is deducted, takes 1 pick. So, how are we going to build this character? Let's see. Oh, so the ones that are gray have different requirements. I have to have 4 picks of life spell books to cast that, or to be a life bringer. Charismatic, possesses a magical or magnificent presence that dramatically improves their charm and diplomatic dealings. The charismatic wizard pays half for hiring heroes, mercenaries, and purchasing magical items. All diplomatic penalties from negative actions are halved, and good effects are doubled. So we might be charismatic, perhaps. Now, the different books of magic, it doesn't say what they do. I think this is a bit of an oversight here. Like, we can choose how many books we want and stuff of each one, but there's no way to like right-click and see what each school is about. Obviously, it's somewhat self-explanatory. Nature is going to be nature-based spells, but I'd like a little blurb there to sort of tell us what it all involves and stuff like that. But here we have life, death, chaos, nature, and sorcery. I really don't know much about it. I like the idea of life being a positive, life-affirming wizard, and also sorcery. Seems cool. So if we were to do 3 and 3, that means we could have a total of 10, but that would take, of course, most of our picks. But this is going to be the max level. It says right here, spellbooks allow you to research new spells from their domains. Additionally, each spellbook adds 1 power. Each starting spellbook adds +2 casting skill. Every spellbook above the 6th adds 5% to the research points invested into deciphering the spells of that domain, and also reduces their casting cost by 5%. So we're not going to be the greatest caster with 3 and 3, but that lets us take more picks over here. So let's see. Might go like 4 there. And apparently you can find spell books in treasure chests and stuff in the game as well, so that's cool. Sorcery Mastery. Mastery over the realm reduces the spell research time and casting cost of sorcery spells by 15%. Makes it twice as hard to dispel sorcery spells and doubles the magic power obtained from sorcery nodes. The wizard must have at least 4 sorcery spellbooks, and it costs 1 pick. Enchanted runes carved by the wizard allow for the power of all dispel magic type spells to be doubled. In addition, this trait reduces the spell research time and casting cost of arcane spells by 25%. Rune Master. We'll probably go ahead and go Sorcery Mastery. Charismatic Sorcery Mastery. Mana Focusing. Mastery over the energy that fuels all magic increases the mana obtained from power by 25%. We can get that. Sage Mastery. Mastery of knowledge and wisdom allows the wizard to claim 25% more research points from all sources. Let's look at this next page. Tech Master. I need a hero. No more holding out for a hero till the end of the night. If you need a hero now, this is the trait for you. Begin the game with the summon hero and summon a champion spell and gain 25% discount to cast them. Additionally, the trait allows for 1 extra choice when heroes are summoned and or recruited. Fantastic Warlord. Mastery of the Fantastic Troops allows the wizard to increase attack, ranged, defense, and power, and breath attacks of all summoned creatures under their control by +1. So definitely a lot of different ways you can go here. Sea Hunter. Channeler. Masters accuracy and ignores spellcasting range. They do not spend any extra mana when casting any spell in combat far away from their fortress. In addition, a channeler only pays 50% of the normal spell upkeep. The total cost of current mana upkeep is rounded up, then 50% is deducted, takes 2 picks. I'm going to go with Conjurer, I think. Master of Summoning. The Conjurer reduces the spell research time and casting cost of all summoning spells by 25%. It also reduces the upkeep cost of fantastic creatures by 25%. I can even pick Archmage yet, or get another Book of Life, maybe. Archmage, focusing on pure spell power, increasing the casting skill of the wizard by 10. It makes it twice as hard to dispel their spells. There's a 50% bonus to all power spent on increasing the skill. But I think we'll go with this. Sorcery Mastery, Charismatic Conjurer. Okay, we would hit next. Now we get to pick our spells. In the life domain, we get 3 of them. We can go through them. Bless. Blessing of the Divine upon the Chosen adds +3 to the target unit's resistance power. And Armor. Oh, resistance. Wait. Adds +3 to the target unit's resistance and armor against all chaos and death spells or normal monster attacks. Gives good defense. Starfire. Stars fall to pierce the enemies of life. A 15 strength attack that is only effective versus chaos and death creatures. Endurance. A divine spring in 1 step increases target's unit movement rate by 1. Holy Weapon blesses the target non-fantastic unit's weapons, allowing them to hit creatures with weapon immunity and giving a 10% bonus chance to hit in combat. I think we'll grab that. Healing. Divine Light ascends to mend an ally, heals up to 5 hits of damage taken by the target non-undead unit. We'll get rid of Bless and probably get Healing. Holy Armor. Holy Light protects an ally. The target non-fantastic unit's armor is increased by 2. Just Cause. The Just Cause of Life enacted by the caster is broadcast to all. The wizard's fame is increased by +10 and all cities reduce unrest by 1 rebel as long as the spell is in effect. That's pretty powerful. I think we'll get Just Cause as well. True Light. Holy Light descends upon the creatures of life on the battlefield, gives +1 attack strength, armor, and resistance. And creatures of death suffer -1 to the same stats. True Light and Darkness negate the effects of one another. Guardian Spirit summons an incorporeal move on water Guardian Spirit. It can meld with power nodes, thus generate magic power for the wizard. Once melded with a Guardian, the node is harder for the enemy to take. Only 25% chance to claim. And Heroism. An ally is anointed with the power of life itself. The target non-fantastic unit immediately becomes elite or commander for heroes. I like that a lot too. So if I were to choose, we'd probably go with this. Bless is really tempting to get that defense. But I think these are pretty good. And now we get 3 common sorcery spells. Resist Magic. Creates a field of resistance against magic. Adds +5 to all resistance rolls versus magic to the target unit. Dispel Magic True. Attempts to dispel magic on the target unit in combat. This spell is powerful and has tripled the strength of the arcane spell Dispel Magic. Wandering Island. Summons a wandering island that can be used to transport units over land and the seas. It cannot fight and it will be destroyed if attacked without units on board. Guardian Wind. A gust of controlled air protectively swirls around the target. The unit becomes almost totally immune to arrows and sling bullets, +50 armor. Phantom Warrior. Summons a group of illusory Phantom Warriors that are basic melee unit which strikes the enemy with a treacherous illusionary might that omits defense. They will obey the wizard for the duration of the combat. I kind of like that so far. Confusion. Cast Confusion into the mind of an enemy, -4 power to the resistance. Affected units will wander randomly or can even attack their own side. Word of Recall. Commands an ally to return to you. Transports a friendly unit back to the caster's summoning circle. We'll get Confusion so far. Counter Magic. A battle of the wizards that focuses your power on enemy attacks and tries to counter them. All enemy spells cast in combat must resist being dispelled while this spell is in effect. Nagas. Summons a pair of trident-wielding Nagas with a poisonous touch that aids their fast melee attack. They'll obey the wizard's command until death or banishment. And Psionic Blast projects a blast of piercing psionic pain towards the enemy target, a 5 strength illusory attack with +1 strength for every 2 extra mana spent. So right now I like Psionic Blast, Confusion, and Nagas. We'll go with that. All right, then we get to select a race and banner. The race we're going to play as, we have Barbarians. We have Gnolls. They all have different stats and stuff. We have Halflings, High Elves, High Men, Clackons, pretty cool, Lizard Men, Nomads, Orcs, we'll have a different sort of look to them in this game, Soul Trapped, and Scourgers. And if we had the Mirren trait, we could select any of Beastmen, Dark Elves, Draconians, Dwarves, Trolls, and Goblins. They're on the secondary plane, the negative plane like of Mirren. Okay, so it shows their growth rate, their building restrictions, their other modifiers, their racial units. You know, you want to see which unit is good that you want to make with this race. Paragon Ghost Ship, so they're for the water. What are lizardmen like? Small bipedal aquatic reptilians. They are agile and resilient and can move on water. What they may lack in stature, they make up in numbers. There are some theories that suggest common ancestry with the Draconians, but neither race finds them convincing. Lizardmen form mostly tribal societies, and they tend to build settlements using simple technologies. So building restrictions in their cities: cannot build Miners Guild, Sawmill, Foresters Guild, Animus Guild, War Colleges, Sages Guild, Parthenons, or Shipwright Guilds. Other modifiers: they get +1 armor, +1 hits for basic units, and a water walking skill. And their racial units that we would get are Javelineers and Dragon Turtle, with a 10 attack. I don't know what all those numbers mean. They have water walk, so do the Javelineers. 10 attack, no ranged attack. They have 8 armor, 8 power. 1 unit out of 1 has 15 hits. Their upkeep is 2 gold, 1 food. The Javelineers are just, they have a ranged attack of 4. Basic units. Then we see the production per farmer, production per worker, and production per rebel. Workers give you a whole 2 production. Farmers give a whole 2 food plus 0.5 production if we make the civilians farmers. Let's check the good old High Elves. They also add power. That's important. That's used to generate mana, research spells, and increase casting skill. And guys, I'm not an expert even of the DOS game. I just really loved it, and I played it for a little bit, but I'm not an expert. So this is pretty new to me as well. It's been years, besides the point. I think we're going to go with High Elves because High Elves are humanoid creatures possessing great beauty and longevity, often attributed to their strong affiliation to magic. They're an ancient faction and see themselves as a benign force of wisdom. As such, they do favor diplomacy over warfare, but as a result of their self-image, the elves can also suffer from a strong superiority complex. Their growth rate is very slow, base rate of -20 people per turn. Their building restrictions: cannot build Parthenons or maritime guilds. Other modifiers: they get +2 resistance, +10% chance to hit bonus, and forester skill for units except for constructs. Spearmen, swordsmen, halberdiers, cavalry, and settler cost 1.5 times production instead of just 1%, or instead of 1 time. High Elf cities provide +5 power for every population. Racial units are longbowmen. Very nice. Elven lords. They sound cool. They're mounted on horse. And Pegasus, who can fly. Pegasi. So I think we're going to go with the high elves. Of course, other groups have their advantages and stuff. You get berserkers here with whopping 7 attack, 6 of them in a unit. Very cool, but we're going to go with high elves, I think. Pick our banner. Green, blue, red. We'll go with this purple one, I think. And then we begin. Let's get it on. I am unknown, yet all will know me soon. The path to power begins. And we're going to go ahead and play through this and see what we can do here, guys. Have some fun along the way. Hope you are ready to roll. I'm not sure if I have my laptop on turbo mode right now, guys. I'd have to go into the settings and see in a second here. This first load usually takes a bit to set everything up. And if it's choppy in any way, guys, the video, I will fix it for next episode. Welcome, Elzarion. I welcome you, O great Elzarion. If you could spend a moment of your time for your lowly servant, I would like to present you with the world manipulators I prepared for your arrival. Turn on tutorials, yes. Thank you, your magnificence. I will only take a moment. Move the map with WASD or the middle mouse button. Right, pretty basic there. See the size of the map, it's rather huge. I love it. Left click to select a unit or location. Right click to move selected army on the map. So here we have an army selected, it looks like. Ballad is the name of our capital city. We have High Elf Swordsmen, High Elf Settlers. We'll get to all that in the stats and everything, though. Each army will ask for orders every turn, so if you want them to wait where they are, tell them to wait or guard. Double-click on your city to view it and manage its production. Let's do that now, Your Highness. So we'll double-click Ballad. This, Your Excellence, is your glorious town. I will quickly show you around if you allow. I do allow. Let's go. Global Taxes and Unrest section lets you decide how high the taxes are for all towns. High taxes yield more gold, but also more unrest. Unhappy citizens turn into rebels and do not work. Very simple interface. The tax rate is set for all of your cities here. Right now we're getting no gold from taxes and there's still 20 unrest. After a certain time you'll get rebels as your citizens, I guess, and we'll get into that later. But here we can, change things. Up the tax rate, get a little more unrest, stuff like that, and so on. This section shows all your towns along with their current production, gold they bring you, population, and unrest. So our town, our capital is Ballad, High Elves. It brings in +3 gold, +2 food, +6 production, 4,000 population. Mana, I guess, or power of 10. And then the unrest is 20%. That's what we're looking at now. Here you can find units that are currently stationed in this town. It's a good idea to keep some defenders. If your capital is conquered, you may lose it all. And right now at the capital we have High Elf Swordsmen. Pretty basic melee unit. And High Elf Settlers that can found a city somewhere for us, so we'll send them out to explore soon. The Citizens panel allows you to assign jobs to this town's population. Any non-rebelling citizen who's not a worker will default to a farmer. So we have 4 citizens working here. Based on the population, one for each 1,000, so we have 4,000 total. Represented by the number 4. Citizens by default are farmers that farm food but can be assigned a job of a worker to increase production. Unrest may also cause citizens to become rebels who refuse to work and do not produce anything. So pretty basic. We have no rebels. Every farmer also adds 0.5 production. Farmers feed your population. -1 food is needed to sustain each citizen. Each surplus of 2 food is turned into 1 gold at the end of the turn. No, only farmers producing surplus food can become workers. Food deficit in a city will cause starvation and decrease its population. As you can see, we're getting 4 from reduction, 2 from enchantment, for about a total value of 6 and 3 gold. Food is used to feed the town's population as well as your armies. It is not stockpiled. If food supply does not meet demand, the town will starve and its population will decrease. Each 2 surplus food is always turned into 1 gold. So we clearly have 2 surplus food. We're making 6. We only need 4 to feed the 4 citizens, it seems. Though it looks like we have 2 extra. I could be wrong, though. Gold income. Gold production of the town is derived mainly from taxes, therefore population growth will impact it. The income can also be increased by trade goods, resources, minerals, buildings, and some terrain types like shoreline and river. So from the taxes in this towns, we're getting 4 gold, resources 2 gold, and then upkeep -3 for a total of 3 gold in the positive direction. Workers' job is to provide production points, which the town uses to construct buildings and recruit units. Note, only farmers producing surplus food can become workers. Production points are used to construct buildings and train units. The more production points your citizens produce, the quicker construction will progress. We have a base of 5 with a 1 area bonus for a total value of 6. Power income shows the power production in this town. Power is used to generate mana, research spells, and increase casting skill. You can adjust how your power is assigned for each purpose on the magic screen. We'll get into that. From our population, we get 2 power and then 8 from enchantments for a total of 10. And then rebels generate no food, gold, or production, but still consume food. As unrest increases, more rebels will surface. Rebels can be reduced by constructing religious buildings. Unrest reduction spells are a garrison of non-fantastic units at -1 rebel reduction per 2 units. Interesting. So from the unrest, we do have 1 rebel, but then rebels reduced by the garrison. I guess these 2 units potentially are causing that 1 rebel to disappear. Total value of 0. Unrest, the percentage of unrest in this city. It takes into account global unrest as well as any other modifications. Unrest generates rebels. Unrest is modified by the tax rate, racial tensions, based on the location of your fortress, persistent enchantments, and garrison units. So from the tax rate, we're getting 0.2. And then research income, 0. Shows the research production in this town. We'll leave that as it is. This section shows any resources in the town's catchment area. These resources provide various bonuses and are always good to have. We have a resource of silver ore, which provides 2 gold to the nearby town. Can be changed into mithril ore using the transmute spell. It's interesting. This panel shows you the construction queue of this town. Production speed depends on production points generated by your citizens. You can use gold to speed things up. So next in queue, we have nothing. We're building housing, focusing on building additional housing in the city, and therefore allowing for its greater growth. Effects increases the city's population growth rate. All right, we're done here. We can X that out. If we click here, this is a pretty cool thing. It shows us we can sell these buildings. I don't want to, but it shows us what we have. We have a builder's hall, a granary, our summoning circle, our fortress, barracks over here, a smithy. This is all that we have. And I guess this is sell mode. I don't know what happens if I click it. Are you sure you wish to sell this building for 10? Right, it lets you sell. But we don't want to do that. Double click on your city to view and manage its production. Oh. Okay. So from here, we probably want to construct some stuff and start out. But before we get into that, let's close the city view and let's look at the rest of the UI. We have 120 gold up here. We have 30 mana. Our food production and fame. Fame is your reputation. Heroes are more likely to join famous wizards and merchants are more likely to offer artifacts to them. Fame also decreases troop maintenance cost by 1 gold for each point of fame. Very cool. We can cast spells. We can research spells. We'll get into that. Let's get into Wizard Info Alpha 1. The mirror shows the most important information about you, O Great Wizard. Traits, which are your special abilities, are displayed here. New traits can sometimes be acquired as treasure from clearing out very difficult locations. Your spellbooks, which allow you to research and cast spells from their corresponding domains, are here. These too can be obtained from treasure. 4 and 4. If you'd like to know how your power compares to rival wizards, check the history button. You can only see the power of wizards you have already met. So we have nothing there. The victory section will show your progress towards claiming the title of Master of Magic and thus winning the game. Shows our wealth. We can't click victory yet. Okay, so that's the mirror. Then we have cities. Here you can view at a glance all towns that belong to you, my master. When you click on a town, you can view its location in the world as well as any enchantments that affect it. Very simple, a default kind of city screen shows you what's happening. We're getting plus 152 population, and so on. It shows it's a summoning location. This is where your summoning circle is located, where summoned units will appear. The location of your summoning circle can be changed by casting the summoning circle spell, and it's also our capital city. It's located in our fortress is located in the city. If you lose it, you'll be banished or defeated. We can have it managed by familiar. Your familiar shall manage the town production. You may change at your own choices, and the familiar will prioritize them. I'm not even going to use that, but if I do, we'll go ahead and read about that. We can cast enchantments on the city itself. Go to the city. Then we have armies. Here you can view all armies that serve under your banner, hired heroes, and unused magical items. Select an army to see where it's located in the world. So we have one army right now. Total upkeep, 3 gold, 2 food. No artifacts yet. Army size is 2 out of 9. Shows the current maximum number of units in the army. When the army is full, no other units can join it, but it will still be possible to summon or take over enemy units during combat. And right now, this is not really an army, because settlers don't have any attack or anything. So, yeah, there's that. We have no heroes. Again, no artifacts. This is pretty cool, though. Any artifacts, magical items you create, acquire from searching ruins or lairs, or purchase from merchants are stored here in your fortress's vault. They can be equipped by heroes if you employ any, provided that they have an equipment slot matching the type of item. Matching the type of the item, simply drag and drop the item onto a hero to equip. Any items that you deem not useful to you can either be destroyed to gain mana or traded with rival wizards. Very awesome. Okay, let's close that. Then we have magic. This area lets you assign your power points, view enchantments, and use alchemy to turn mana into gold and vice versa. These vials, your greatness, show what proportion of your power is used for each purpose, increasing your mana reserve, researching spells, or improving your casting skill. Okay. You may always adjust these proportions by clicking on the vials. Clicking on the padlock will lock the value in place. Okay, there's the padlock. We'll lock it. Both you and your rivals will likely cast various enchantments affecting units, towns, the world, and yourselves. You can view them here. Enchantments we control, enchantments on the world, on you. Very cool. Most enchantments that you can control cost you mana each turn to upkeep, but you can cancel them with the X button. If you have a surplus of gold or mana, alchemy allows you to turn one into the other. So that's pretty cool. We can turn 2 gold into 1 mana, transmute, or vice versa. Turn mana to gold, 2 mana equals 1 gold, same idea. Summon to ballad. Shows our casting skill. On the overland map, casting skill indicates how much maximum mana can be spent for spellcasting each turn. In combat, it determines the maximum casting cost and mana pool you may use during an entire battle, so we definitely want to level this up. Mana reserve is 30. Mana points available for spellcasting can be increased by assigning power points to mana in the yellow vial. And research directly affects the speed of learning new spells, can be increased by assigning more power to the green vial, constructing buildings such as the library, Sages Guild, University, and Wizards Guild, or hiring heroes with the Sage ability. Very cool. And the first one is casting skill. Okay, so right now it's 433 is how we're spending this 10 power. I want to lock I think we'll go ahead and we'll lock that one and put another point in here. There we go. I'd rather have casting skill going up. Very good. 10 power. Alright. Almost done with the menus. Then we have diplomacy. Nothing in the mirror there, but very cool. And finally, game options. We can report a bug. Let's see how long we've been playing. 41 minutes. So I'm going to wrap it here, guys. We got through pretty much all of the menus. Next time, we're going to make some construction, do some research, and start adventuring. So hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more. Go ahead and smash that like button. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. Subscribe if you're new here. Hit the notification bell, but don't feel pressured to do those things. Just if you want to help out the channel in a big way, that's how you do it. But it's all good either way. So I hope to see you guys next time with more. It's going to be a lot of fun. Let's get it. Let's go, son. It's going to be fun. So until then, guys, be well, live well, stay well, and much love, peace, and joy to all of you. Don't go anywhere. We're going to have some fun with this one. And I'll see you in Master of Magic. Peace for now.